But it's time for the main event. For the Intercontinental title, I had to watch this because I wanted to see. It could have been ugly. It could not have been. I was nervous. Bron Breakker versus Penta. And I'm thinking, is there going to be a style clash here? Is Bron too green to deal with that type of thing? And while it wasn't his best ever performance, it didn't stink. It wasn't that bad. There's still, Bron looks incredible, and his fucking style, he works like his father, and he has a personality of his uncle. But there's still, when Bron is having to position himself and cooperate for the Have a Coronas, especially the one that Penta halfway missed and kind of body scissored him, and just the stuff he's doing, it doesn't highlight Bron in the best light. But like I said, it could have been a lot worse. Although in the first 30 seconds, Penta grabbed him in a headlock with his right arm. And I know the people who are smart on the fucking internet are going to say, well, that's the way they do it in Mexico. Yes, that's the idea. That's the way they do it in Mexico. Which is another reason why it's always been hard for luchadors with no experience in the United States and or vice versa to fucking work with each other, because a lot of times they do work from the other side down there. But point is, they're not in Mexico. They were in goddamn Glasgow. And for Bron, I bet you that may be the first time that anybody would have ever headlocked him with the right arm before. And all he did was pick him up and throw him off and show his strength and everything. But what else could you do? He couldn't do anything else because it'd be all fucked up. That's the point. Does the guy he's been here forever. So does he just forget or what? That may not have been a rhetorical question, but could he just suddenly forget where he's at?
I guess you could, but
where you've been for years?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's just so odd. I'm thinking, what the fuck could you possibly do from that? You can't. Well, anyway. Bron controlled a lot of it. There wasn't a lot on the air, to be honest. They didn't show by the time they got him in the ring and etc. And then they went to break. But finally, both of them were down, and they did the dueling chant. But it was "Let's go, Penta!" Woof 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 woof. And then Penta made a comeback and a backstabber, and 2 count, and Bron foiled a Mexican destroyer into a gut buster. And they were, again, I just don't like seeing Bron have to put himself in position for all this tomfoolery when he's got something going on. But then Penta did a dive, and Bron was right there, standing there, and he had his arms up, and Penta went right past him. They both fell down, but Penta just landed flat on his ass on the floor from flipping over the top rope. And I'm saying, what the fuck? Why? Anyway, Bron hit the Breakensteiner and covered him, and the crowd was counting with that one. 1, 2, and he kicks out. And I'm thinking, all right. Bron gets up with the mean face. He's barking. And then Dominic and Carlito have appeared. And Dominic drew the referee, and Carlito got up, and Bron just brought him right in the ring and hit him with a spear. But the referee has to turn around and look and say, well, this guy's in the fucking ring. But now they've made the rule up that as long as the guy can get in the ring all he wants, as long as the referee doesn't see him hit anybody. The fuck? So the referee looks at that, but then Dominic comes in and clips Bron's leg, and then the referee disqualifies him. So they just wanted to get out of it. It was a spot show finish for the people in Glasgow because, why beat either one of these guys? And Dominic gets on Bron, and Finn comes in and hits Bron with a chair a couple times, and then he gives it to Dominic. Dominic hits him about 4 times with it. And then Dominic gives the chair to Penta and says, hit him. And Finn's like, what are you giving him the chair for? You should have heard him with that accent. What are you giving him the chair for? And then Penta threw the chair to Dominic, who caught it and held it in front of his face so he could super kick it. And then Finn got on Penta and hit Bron with a chair again and double stomped Penta, and both the baby faces are down selling and the heels are up. And I'm not sure how I feel about a program involving Bron and Penta in a feud with the miniature Judgment Day. What the fuck is going on here? Can we just get Bron in some main events, please? More Bron.
The match wasn't bad. I know you were wondering how they would work together. It wasn't bad. Again, I think the only thing that really hurt it for this was just the idea that you have 2 baby faces wrestling each other. So the fans, I don't think they want to boo Penta, and I don't think they want to boo Bron.
No.
So
and Bron technically is still a heel because he hasn't actually turned, but the people like him because he's so cool.
If Judgment Day is coming after him, he's a babyface.
Well, yes.
Because Judgment Day are one of the acts you can say are clearly heel. Right? I mean, they're clearly heel. Not too many other people in the company
yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Bron's being Bron, and it's working, but I hate who Bron has to be Bron with here these days.
Well, Bron,
I'm impatient.
You hate who he has to be Bron with. You mean Penta?
Penta and or Finn and or Carlito and or, with Dominic, it's fun when Dominic takes big bumps, but and it's a tag teams, whatever the
and
fuck.
JD, you got to figure is going to come back at some point.
Well, then we could talk about that.
And they're already doing Ray Phoenix vignette videos, I think, on SmackDown.
Well, maybe, so maybe Penta will need a partner after Bron gets mad because Penta gets beat and spears him out of his boots. And then Penta brings his brother Felix in. And then Bron goes somewhere else to fight big stars.
Why didn't AEW just call him Penta? Like, Penta El Zero Miedo is just such a, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily work for non-wrestling fans in English. But Penta just kind of says it and you're done and you can move on. It's, oh yeah, Penta. Why didn't they ever just do that?
And that reminds people what they said over in AEW after Penta left. Penta, gone.
Junior. But that was Raw. Raw gone. Another WWE Raw. And of course, Jim, when you talk about Raw, you must talk about the big business that WWE and TKO are doing. Record profits, merch through the roof. But they're not the only ones who could do merch. Anyone out there can do some brand of merch, of course. Even us, little old us. And just like us, you could have your store powered by Shopify.
That's exactly right, because as we mentioned at the top of the program, after popular demand, the Corny's Drive-Thru and other t-shirts are available at the Shop app. And then you go to Shopify's Shop app and they're in there. See, I know all the snappy phrases now that the kids are using since I've been involved with Shopify and you've started using them. Shopify, folks, if you want to sell your merch or if you want to sell somebody else's merch, let's say that, for example, somebody makes some merch and then you buy it, then you turn around and you want to resell it. Well, you can sell merch all day long. You need much merch? They got it. Shopify is the #1 checkout on the planet, the platform that all the big boys, including us, I'm big and you're the boy. And they are the ones who everyone uses to make more money because, after all, that's the sound you're going to hear, the sound of making money, the sound of profit, the sound of dirty capitalism in action. When you're selling your stuff through Shopify, you've got an idea, you got a harebrained scheme. They're the ones that can put it into reality because look at our harebrained scheme. It's already real. And look at your harebrained schemes, ladies and gentlemen. They can become reality just like our harebrained schemes. And we can save you money on that too. Brian, did we get the $1 a month trial period, by the way, or did we just jump in with both feet? Certainly we got the deal.
I believe we got the deal.
We got the deal because you can get the deal too, folks. You can sign up for a $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/JCE. That's the secret code, all lowercase, shopify.com/JCE. And then for $1, the $1 that will be the change of your life, you can have a trial period with Shopify where they can tell you what they're going to do for you and show you how beneficial it will be for them to be out there strong-arming people into giving them their money, and then they pass that money on to you. Now they occupy every street corner, every bus station, every place where crowds congregate, and they will take at least $1 off of each person that passes by, or elsewise they give them a couple of sharp raps on the ear, maybe a little elbow in the temple. And then they gather all that money up in a hat and they bring it right back to you, and this is what you hear. Now imagine they're doing that on a worldwide basis, where all of their virtual employees out there on all the interwebs are simultaneously elbowing somebody in the temple or wrapping them up on the side of the head. There's another $1 for you. Brian, do you realize if you have a worldwide reach, how many people you could extort for $1? They're going to make everybody billionaires.
We are not, again, no extortion. And if that wasn't something implied, they'd probably put it as part of their tagline. This is just a way to sell your products and make good money, hard-earned money, legitimate money through legitimate means with the legitimate Shopify.
Well, if it's implied sometimes that people don't get the ply. So if you don't want extortion, folks, click the no extortion box when you...
Again, it's built into the service. You don't have to worry about that, just like you're not going to have to worry about anything else.
So you have to, actually, if you want extortion, you have to ask for it.
No extortion. No extortion. There'll be no extortion.
Well, folks, no money. That's what you have to lay out at the start. $1 a month trial period, shopify.com/JCE. Check out with the big boys, baby. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're powering the engine behind our commerce on the T-shirts now, and they will power your engine from behind. And they'll jackhammer you to success. And your opponents and competitors will be spit roasted on the spit of frustration and agony.
Metaphorically speaking, because you'll be doing so well, minding your own business and selling your products the legitimate way with Shopify. Jim, what's that promo code? How can the listeners get this great deal?
Minding your own business at $1 a month at shopify.com/JCE.
That's right. Of course, Shopify powering our official Jim Cornette store.